What's going on, everyone? My name is Goochimus and welcome back to the Outer Wilds. And as promised, this shall be our review episode because this game throws so much information at you. It's really hard to keep track of it in your head. So we're going to go over all the information we've learned, every little bit of it. And this episode may actually end up taking a while, but hey, needs to be done. Needs to be done. And I've already taken a small look at this here, and our map of information, which is what this is, seems to be divided into several categories. The first being the green, which centrals around the orbital probe cannon, it seems, and the Nomai search for the eye of the universe. The next being the Ash Twin Project, which we really don't know too much about. We know it has to do with the statues, time, memories. So we'll get into that. We'll get into all that. So the next one is the vessel. This is a relatively new mystery that has popped up before us. Because after exploring the escape pods here, we found out about said vessel. So, yeah, and the last group of questions or information we have is about the quantum moon. And how all that will connect to everything, I still don't know. I'll be honest, it seemed like the main thing to me was going to be about the orbital probe cannon and the Ash Twin Project, but according to this, maybe the vessel and the quantum moon may also be on equal footing. There is an entire section over here which I haven't even unlocked yet, so there might be even more mysteries to this game. So we should probably get right into this, and I figured the best place to start for any explorer is on their home planet. So we gotta look through here and find our village, which is the village here at Timber Hearth. So this is in white, which I'm assuming means it doesn't have any direct correlation to anything, but it is an essential linking point. So we shall view this entry. So village, the one and only Artheon Village, as well as the main source of explosions on this planet. My statue in the observatory opens its eyes and looked at me. I saw strange glowing lights and my own memories flash before my eyes. Al says the statue never opens its eyes before, despite Hornfeld's best efforts. So that's basically what happened at the beginning of the game. Statue opened its eyes, and yeah, basically what they just said. So there's also a zero-G cave, which I'm not sure will really have anything to do with anything, but hey, possibly. Aimed at the very center of Timber Hearth, using the Outer Wild adventures to train new assets. Yeah, okay. I successfully repaired another satellite for Goslin. So yeah, I don't really think that'll have to do with anything. But our village does have a connection here that led us to the eye signal locator. So the Nomai text in the observatory talks about calibrating some sort of device on the Addle Rock. So there was an observatory in the village, and it talked about this device on the Addle Rock. So, the Nomai device created to pinpoint the source of distant signals. The Nomai were disappointed by their failure to detect a signal from something called the Eye of the Universe. So they created that to essentially find something called the Eye of the Universe. And this has two connecting points. Ryback headed to Brutal Hollow to investigate something the Nomai were doing at the South Pole. So Ryback is like a legendary explorer to the Artheons. He's basically done everything, seen everything, and we have been finding some of his catalogs sitting around. So Ryback has set up camp at the bottom of the crossroads. Their excitement at being surrounded by so much Nomai history is matched only by their terror of the black hole. So the crossroads was on Brutal Hollow, and Ryback set up camp there. So it seems this line kind of follows Ryback's journey. Ryback says you can't get into the observatory from the surface. They tried, but there's probably a path beneath the crust somewhere. So we have been to the observatory, and that'll be coming up next, which also has a link from the eye signal locator. So the Nomai decided to build a larger, more sophisticated eye signal locator on Brittle Hollow's South Pole. So that led Rybeck there, following the Nomai. So the Southern Observatory, a new, more sensitive locator the Nomai built in this observatory, was unable to detect any trace of the eye signal. Based on their knowledge of the quantum moon, the Nomai believed the eye was in a distant orbit around the sun. The Nomai decided to stop searching for the eye signal and instead look for it visually by sending out a deep space probe. There were concerns that the probability of launching a probe in the correct direction would be absurdly small. So they tried to build another locator, but it had no effect. So they decided to just start building stuff visually. So this has some connections leading to it. We will come back around to it, hopefully. I mean, this is going to be a little complicated, I know, but I need to go over everything we know. So, yeah, Southern Observatory, that was the other eye locator, but it did not work. And inside that was a tornado simulation. So the cyclones on Giant Deep rotate clockwise. These are the cyclones the Nomai used to send components into orbit. Also, a rare type of cyclones that spins in the opposite direction that pulls you beneath the surface. So they were set up on Giant's Deep in the construction yard to build a orbital probe cannon, which is our link to the Southern Observatory here, so let's go ahead and check that out. The Nomai decided to construct a probe cannon in orbit around Giant's Deep. So since the locator wasn't going to work, they needed this probe cannon to send out probes. The broken remains of the Nomai space station orbit around Giant's Deep. There are 3 access ways branching off from the central hub area. The orbital probe cannon was created to find the precise location of the Eye of the Universe. The Nomai pushed the orbital probe cannon above its maximum power settings to create the greatest chance of finding the Eye of the Universe. And that may or may not have caused some problems. The control module recently received a request from the Ash Twin Project to launch the probe. The cannon was aligned with a randomly selected probe trajectory. The probe was successfully launched, but the cannon's structural integrity was compromised in the process. Damage is detected in multiple modules. So when it says recently, it means it happens at the beginning of every loop. We see this cannon receive the request from the Ash Twin Project to launch the probe. And the cannon aligns with a randomly selected probe trajectory. But we see at the beginning of every loop, it shoots a different direction. So it keeps resetting the loop in order to try again. But every time it launches, it destroys the cannon. So, I hope that made sense. In my head it made some sense. Anyways. Let's see here. Why is it getting so bright out? Anyways. I might have to go through a couple loops before we finish all this. But we'll get there. We'll get there. So there was also a launch module. The launch module is badly damaged, but its projection pool is still intact, which was the pool we step in to kind of like talk with other people that they probably did. Nomai named Mallow argued that it wouldn't matter if the cannon's structural integrity was compromised, since they only needed to fire the probe once. But why that is, I'm still not sure about. The Nomai named Privet countered that they wouldn't be capable of receiving the probe's data if the probe tracking module was destroyed. Which it was. We found at the bottom of Giant's Deep. The orbital probe cannon has launched thousands of probes. The 9,354th probe located a deep space anomaly matching all known criteria for the Eye of the Universe. The probe's tracking module automatically records each probe's trajectory and transmits the data to the Ash Twin Project. I found Nomai coordinates marking the location of the Eye of the Universe. So the thing is, it seems like it does fire once, but it fires at the beginning of every loop. So therefore, it's fired thousands of times. Have we been in this loop for 9,354 times? That's why it keeps firing and just keeps going over again. It kind of seems like it. I might be wrong on that one because I don't have all the information here yet. So from here we're going to just hop over to the construction yard. I guess we missed something here, so we're going to have to go back. But this island is where the Nomai built the orbital probe cannon. For some reason, the Nomai put the orbital probe cannon on indefinite hiatus. The cannon was not asked to fire. So I did miss something there. We will have to go back. But they didn't want the cannon to fire, and yet it's fired thousands of times. What's the connection here? The Nomai finished building the final module for the orbital probe cannon, sent it into orbits around Giants Deep. Used a Nomai projection pool and saw the interior of a space station orbit around Giants Deep, and that was the orbital probe cannon. And let's see, the connection from the construction yard to the tornado simulation is the Nomai at the Southern Observatory constructed a model of Giants Deep that revealed how an object might sink below a strong ocean current, which is where we found the probe tracking module. And the connection to the Southern Observatory is there's a path beneath the surface that leads to the observatory. Okay, that doesn't seem all that important. So going from the construction yard to the ocean depths, the connection, the Nomai on the construction yard saw something sink beneath the water current, which they previously thought was impossible. Yeah. The ocean is surprisingly calm beneath the current. Some sort of electrical field surrounded the ocean core. Okay, none of that is all that important. So let's check out the connection from our village to Gabbro Island, which is Hal says Gabbro went back to Giants Deep to try and learn more about the Nomai statue in the observatory. So Gabbro is lounging in a hammock near the island shore, which, you know, we talked to him before. Gabbro found a Nomai statue near another island. The statue's eyes started glowing, and Gabbro saw their memories flash before their eyes. That's because he was also affected like us. He's aware of the time loops. He remembers dying. Saw their memories flash before their eyes, just like the time with the statue. Gabbro and I seems to be the only ones aware that we're in a time loop. But there does seem to be one more person, if my hypothesis is correct, about the Ash Twin Project. The connection from that to the orbital program, Gabbro sees a bright flash in the sky at the start of every loop. Something must be happening in orbit around Giants Deep, and that is the orbital probe cannon firing. So, we also have a bunch here that we need to go over. So we're going to start at Eskers Camp. Esker is growing a crop of trees at their camp. They seem to be doing okay, but they've probably been alone on the moon for too long. That's just a guy hanging out on our moon. So there's a guy on our moon just hanging out. He's whistling a pretty nice song. Esker says the Adel Rock's North Pole, marked in red on my mini-map, is a great spot to listen for other travelers' music with a signal scope. That led us to the Lunar Lookout. A lookout platform with a spectacular view of the solar system. Esker uses their signal scope here to keep tabs on other travelers. That led him to Esker's signal scope log reports a harmonica music coming from somewhere on Timber Hearth. They claim it sounds just like Felspar's harmonica, but Felspar disappeared a long time ago. And we also heard that at the Dark Bramble seed. The seed from Dark Bramble crashed here and has already taken root. Tektite wants to use the scout launcher to get a look at what's inside, which we did. But we also used the signal scope, picked up harmonica music when he aimed it at the seed. Dark Bramble is kind of weird. We haven't checked too much of that yet. I launched my little scout into the seed. Somehow the seed is much bigger on the inside, which indeed it was, especially when we went in as well. That leads us to Felspar, I guess. When I launched the scout into the sea, that crashed on Timber Hearth and ends somewhere in Dark Bramble. How's that lead to Felspar, I wonder? Felspar was headed off to Dark Bramble after reaching the core of Giant's Deep. That is true. We did get a log of his. When I launched my scout into the sea, I crashed on Timber Hearth and ended up somewhere in Dark Bramble. Maybe that's where Felspar is. I did see a campfire. Is it possible he's just chilling there? Huh. We will definitely have to check that out. There was also that island that I said was overcome with jellyfish. An island of thorny vines and what appears to be frozen jellyfish. Looks like Felspar camped here before heading off to Dark Bramble. So yeah, there was a log there that Felspar was like, I'm here. Felspar headed off to Dark Bramble after reaching the core of Giant's Deep. Yeah, okay. So, it kind of is looking like Felspar is there. That anglerfish or whatever. And yeah, Felspar did get into ocean. I wonder what Felspar's connection is to all this. He seems to be really important, actually. And we already know about the electromagnetic field. So that's basically everything we know about right now about the orbital probe cannon. We know it's used to find the eye of the universe. It's been shooting off at every loop in a different direction in order to find it. Everything's been recorded to the probe tracking module because somehow, some way, you know, it can do that. And yeah, they found the eye of the universe that way. So, is there really much else we need to know about it, I wonder? We need to know why it breaks apart, but I think we already know that. We did read a log somewhere saying that if they give it too much energy, it's going to blow up. And that's what it seems like happened. Now, something with the Ash Twin Project is probably, which is the next line we're going to go on here. So, maybe we should look at these. Alright, real quick, there is a frozen Nomai shuttle on the comet orbiting the system. So I found a Nomai shuttle almost completely encased on ice. There are 3 Nomai aboard the shuttle. One of them stayed behind to keep the Nomai warm. Or keep the shuttle warm while the other 2 explored the interloper. And I guess there is more to explore there, which I figured. Especially when the ice was melting when I was running across there, but it refroze really quick, so. Nomai shuttle that was frozen on the interloper can be called home to the gravity cannon on Ember Twin. We learned from a log. Nomai shuttle frozen on the interloper can be called to the... Okay, that's the same. Yeah, same thing for some reason. Okay, that's all we know about that. We will have to explore the comet more, it seems. So, from Gabbro's Island, we also... one of Gabbro's islands on Giant's Deep has a Nomai statue on the beach, just like the one Gabbro brought to Timber Hearth. The Statue Island, as Gabbro calls it, is the one with... Yeah, okay, so... Those connections don't seem to be super important unless you really forgot what happened in the game. So the island must be where Nomai created statues like the one in our observatory. I found a Nomai statue lying on the beach, and it looks like... Excuse me. It looks like the one in our observatory. So yeah, they created the statues, it seems like, on that planet. The Nomai statues were designed to pair with a single user, record their memories and send the memories to a storage unit within the Ash Twin Project. Each storage unit inside the Ash Twin Project, oh my god, was equipped with a mask. Throat. Dying. Whew, sorry about that. Jesus Christ. Was equipped with a mask, the statue's counterpart. which could then use to send those stored memories back to the corresponding unit. Yeah, that's where I learned that from, because those masks correspond to how many statues are activated, and there's 3. We're about to run out of time, but doesn't matter. The statues were designed only to activate once the Ash Twin project succeeded, or in the event that it failed. Wait. The orbital probe cannon cannot activate unless it gets a signal from the Ash Twin project to go. Right? Activate. So after... Okay. So after the cannon shoots, the statues can activate. But the cannon has to get a signal from Ash Twin first. What is Ash Twin about? Well, figure that out in a second because we're about to die here. Actually, I'm just going to meditate. I did go back to the gabbro. If you talk to him one more time, he just teaches you how to meditate and it skips you until the next loop. It's very useful. Extremely useful. Not sure if you really unlock anything else in this game, to be honest. Oh yay, we get to see all of my wonderful review again. That was probably the most complicated part. That's like what I feel we know mostly everything about. Mostly. Oh, our orbital probe cannon. See, it does not shoot the same way every time. Then it breaks apart. And it does it... I'm pretty sure... Like, that's the first time it gets shot. It hasn't been shot 9,000 times. It only has been because of the time loop. And it shoots a different direction, a random direction. What am I doing sitting in this seat? Still studying, boy. Sorry. I'm very sorry if you're not into this, but, you know, I totally am. Okay, so that, of course, leads us to the Ash Twin project. Every memory recorded by a Nomai statue is transmitted to a core unit within the Ash Twin. Yes. Now, what do we know about Ash Twin project? Nomai sealed something away inside the core of Ash Twin. So there's Ash Twin and Ember Twin. We've been to Ember Twin. We have not been to Ash Twin yet. That is... We need to go to Ash Twin the next episode. Every memory recorded by the Nomai statue is transmitted to a corresponding unit within Ash Twin. That's literally all we know about Ash Twin. We need to go there next episode. Nomai mines. The Nomai mined ore from this site in order to construct a protective shell around the Ash Twin that was actually on Timber Hearth. There used to be entrances in the protective shell surrounding the Ash Twin project. They were completely sealed at the end of construction. So, getting into Ash Twin could prove troublesome. Let's see, to the actual project. Huh. Okay, and then we also know about the Black Hole Forge, which we have been unable to access. Black Hole Forge is suspended below the Hanging City. I found a switch to the in the Meltwater District that raises and lowers the forge. Black Hole Forge District is the highest district in the Hanging City, and he wanted to create a new advanced warp core in the Black Hole Forge. And that is all we know about that. Also something called a sun station that has to do with the Ash Twin project, which is kind of the reason I think our sun's going out still. Nomai debated building a sun station in order to provide the power to Ash Twin project. See, like, whatever Ash Twin is, I think it activated, but whatever the sun station is, they were talking about the consequences of failing, and whatever they were doing was a destruction of our solar system. Right? And I think that's exactly what happened. They had to use too much energy from our sun. It forced its growth, and it ended up just killing it off in order to shoot their damn probe. Because people were debating about that. High energy lab. Let's check out that. The negative time interval measured at the White Hole Station was further investigated at the high energy... Okay, well, let's check out White Hole Station first. Let's see. To use a Nomai warp tower... Okay, well, maybe we... Jeez. Okay. Northern Glacier is what we should look at first for this area. The North Pole of Brittle Hollow is covered in snow and ice. There is a uniquely shaped Nomai ruin on the surface. Nomai were able to warp here from the White Hole Station, where they first created warp technology. So yeah, they have the ability to warp from planet to planet, using these, what look like teleportation pads, kinda. There is a White Hole Station on the other side of Brittle Hollow's black hole. Several Nomai returned to the station to investigate an equipment reading that appeared to violate causality. So, when you teleport, you seem to arrive before you leave. What does that have to do with White Hole Station? Use Nomai warp power. Yeah, it's not that important. The Nomai noticed something strange. Warped objects appeared to arrive at the receiver in Brittle Hollow slightly before they departed on White Hole Station. That's what I was talking about. This negative time interval between an object arriving and departing was incredibly minuscule, roughly 1/100,000th of a second. The Nomai were skeptical if their equipment could measure time to such a small degree. But I believe they did. They did something. Because they are either sending their memories or they're actually sending us back in time. Negative time interval, what measured at the White Hole Station, was further investigated at High Energy Lab in the canyon on Ember Twin's equator. We need to go there. Negative time interval measured at the White Hole Station was further investigated high. Okay, there's a lot more on the twins that we have not found. So that's all we really know about Ash Twins. Still not a lot, but it's good to get that review out of the way, I think. Let's see, there was the Hanging City on Brittle Hollow. Let's see. The Nomai advanced the suspending city beneath Brittle Hollow's northern glacier. The city is divided vertically into 4 districts. I found a switch in the Meltwater district that raises and lowers a black hole forge. Nomai debated how to obtain a powerful, highly advanced warp core required for the Ash Twin project. Nomai traveled to the solar system in pursuit of a signal from something older than this universe itself. They named the source of the signal the Eye of the Universe. We don't have something for the eye, do we? No, we don't have anything for the eye. That is kind of weird. Because that is a huge mystery. What is the eye? Really don't know. You really don't know. Maybe that's why I don't have a section for it, because I really don't know what the eye is. But the Hanging City led us to the vessel. Writings in the Hanging City. So the vessel's warp core broke when the ship crashed in the Dark Bramble. So the vessel may be at Dark Bramble. It's definitely not on the surface, but it might be like on the inside, which would really suck. There are scary fish in there. The vessel's warp core broke when the ship crashed into Dark Bramble. That's all we know about the vessel. It has a fucked up warp core and it has escape pods. The Nomai learned how to evade anglerfish, theoretically at least, by studying anglerfish fossil they found on Ember Twin. Did not have time to check that out because of rising sand. Let's see, then we did find escape pod. All 3 Nomai escape pods crashed in the solar system. All 3 escape pods were launched something called the Vessel, which was badly damaged. We know. Vessel had to be like the mothership. The Nomai survivors who crashed on Brittle Hollow climbed down a cliff to get a shelter site below the surface. Yeah. Really all we know about that. Apparently there's more at Escape Pod 2. So, I do want to know more about that. Definitely more in the Sunless City. So we gotta go back and check that stuff out. So one of the 3 Nomai escape pods that crashed in our solar system from the vessel, all 3 escape pods were launched from something called the vessel, which was badly damaged. I guess there's more to explore there. That led us to the Sunless City. Nomai survivors who crashed on Ember Twin decided to seek shelter in the caves beneath the crashed escape pod. The Nomai discovered promising long-term shelter site at the edge of one of the passages beneath the escape pod. I don't know how I'm going to be able to explore down there. Time is just so tight. So, the Nomai built into the walls of a huge underground cavern. The city is divided vertically into 4 districts. Nomai debated building the Sun Station in order to power the Ash Twin project. Several Nomai opposed its construction, arguing that the failure could result in the destruction of the solar system. That is what I'm talking about. The Sun Station, destruction of the solar system, activated, happened just like half hour after the Sun Station activates. Our sun goes up, not a coincidence. I have a feeling we have to find a way to end the time loop. Or, no. We have to get to the Sun Station. Shut it down. That should end the time loop. And it should also... save our sun. Because if the Sun Station's providing power to the Ash Twin project, if the Ash Twin project never goes off, everything should be good, right? I think we have a path to victory here, guys. So, Eskers Camp. Chert has set up their astronomy gear in the North Pole of Ember Twin. Perch has spotted an unusually high number of supernovae recently. All the stars in the universe are dying, including our sun. Huh. Stars are simply dying from old age. Apparently they're much older than we realize. Chert has become catatonic in result to our sun's imminent death. I mean, I know that's what Chert thinks. But... no. I mean, I get that stars are going out. But I think that ours is going out due to interference from the Nomai. Like, sure, all the suns are going to go out eventually, but, like, just all of them going out at once is, like, unheard of. So, like, so, maybe it's just time for, like, a shit ton to go off at once. You know, you just never know about these things. Or maybe it's the Nomai that are doing something with other Nomai, and it's all happening at once. So maybe we can at least save our solar system. Maybe we can save them all. We can, like, somehow link to the Nomai's database, and because if they were doing this project of theirs all over, then they could have resulted in a lot of sun deaths. So, anyways, let's continue on. So, the Northern Glacier did lead us kind of to the Quantum Moon. That's where we first heard of it. Nomai on Orbital Hollow observed a phantom moon that would sometimes appear in the sky, also known as Quantum Moon. Nomai on Orbital Hollow observed a phantom moon. Yeah, okay. The Nomai on Solnum landed a shuttle on the Quantum. Did he? I don't remember him saying about that. Some of this stuff I don't remember either. Solnum shuttle. That's his shuttle? That I called back from Brittle Hollow. Huh. I can somehow just teleport to the shuttle. Interesting. No, my name's Solemn. Landed on the shuttle in the Quantum Moon South Pole and prepared to make the rest of the journey on foot. Visitors to the Quantum Moon always arrive at the South Pole for reasons unknown to the Nomai. Interesting. So we need to land on it, the South Pole? I can't tell what that is from orbit, though. Huh. So, there was a gravity cannon. I recalled a Nomai shuttle from the Quantum Moon. Apparently there's more to explore there. Really? At the gravity cannon? I thought I checked all that out. Power of quantum knowledge. So they're all over there are quantum shards. Strange rock shards that wanders when no one is watching. The Nomai determined the shard is the reason objects in the grove behave in a quantum manner. Nomai hypothesized that the shard is actually a piece of the quantum moon. This shard emanates the same signal as the quantum moon. Okay, so we do have the quantum moon, the quantum signature. So there is a Tower of Quantum Knowledge. This tower, located in Brittle Hollow's equator, held useful knowledge for the Nomai embarked on their first pillage of the quantum moon. Are you telling me there's nothing else to learn there? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think this game might be trolling me a little bit with, like, you have more to learn here stuff. Maybe if it has question marks on it, that means obviously you have more to learn here. I haven't been to Black Bowl for it. I haven't been to Vessel. What else still has question marks on it? Felspar, gravity cannon from. Okay, that makes sense. If it has a question mark on it, it's not even gonna bother. It's gonna be like, yeah, you need to find it first. I guess there's more to the gravity cannon. So there is there's one in Giant's Deep. There's one in Timber Hearth. And there's one from the Hourglass. We know what the one from Timber Hearth is. The one in the observatory, I thought. Well, we'll go back there and check it out anyways, just to be sure. We'll have an episode where we do all the quantum stuff, I think. So, this is what we know so far, guys. This is the entirety of our knowledge about what is happening in this game. There's actually probably a few things, but I mean, this has to be the main things you need to know. Still a little confused about how the cannon fired 9,000 times, but I believe that's just because of the time loops. Although, I don't know why I haven't also been rewinded like 9,000 times. I don't know. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. Anyways, thank you all so much for sitting through all of this. I know it was long. I know it may have been boring. But if you made it this far, hey, you're a trooper. Give yourself a pat on the back. And I will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.